Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another video brought to you by SeniorCatWellness.com. In today's material, we'll be taking a glimpse into the mirror and pondering the question, can cats see themselves in the mirror? While there is no question that cats are quite smart, there is a big difference between being able to learn and being self-conscious and self-aware, especially when it comes to relating to yourself and being fully aware of your own physical appearance. Being able to recognize yourself in the mirror as opposed to something or someone else requires a very high level of understanding. We possess it and probably don't give it a second thought. Heck, we probably don't even give it much of a first thought. Cats, on the other hand, are they that skilled? There's a massive difference between a cat being able to see reflections in the mirror and actually understanding what is in the mirror. Before we take a closer look, pun very much intended, let's first explore today's topic overview. Cats can see their own reflection in a mirror, but they cannot recognize it as themselves. This was determined by the mirror test, which all studied cats failed. Cats view their own reflection as another cat, not themselves. Most cats will react aggressively, but others will ignore the mirror or treat it curiously. Before we get rocking and rolling with our first subsection, so much of this video will involve the aforementioned mirror test. What is it? How is it applied? And how cats have fared in said test. While the mirror test, at least in some circles, has been highly criticized for roughly 50 years, it is more or less the judge of visual acknowledgement and recognition when it comes to looking at a mirror. The test that determines if a living being is able to recognize that what they see is more than just an image, but a direct reflection of themselves. And speaking of a reflection, it is our hope that Senior Cat Wellness is a reflection of its wonderful audience. We feel that we have the best feline fans on the entire internet, and it is our honor and pleasure to provide you with entertaining and informative material. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. We thank you so much. We are grateful for all of the love and all of the support that you give to us. Each and every one of you have made Senior Cat Wellness what it is today. Our success is a direct reflection of your dedication, and for that, we truly thank you. Now, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best Garfield of all? Let's take a look today. According to the mirror test, cats are not able to recognize themselves in the mirror. While they can certainly see what's in the mirror, they have no concept that the cat looking back at them is, well, them. Developed in 1970 by psychologist Gordon Gallup Jr., the somewhat infamous mirror test was created to determine which animals are truly able to identify themselves in a mirror. During the test, an object, usually a colored dot, is placed on the animal's body in a location that can easily be seen in the mirror. When placed in front of the mirror, the animals that can recognize the visual as their own reflection will then naturally look accordingly and attempt to touch, play with, or literally remove the dot. The logic being that the animal has directly behaved in this fashion after identifying the dot in the mirror and realizing it was on their own body. Pretty much the equivalent to someone putting bubble gum in your hair and then showing you a mirror. Your reaction is based on the visual of the gum in your hair. A lack of a reaction would imply that you're unaware that the person in the mirror with the gum issue is actually, well, it's actually you. While we noted that cats have been placed in the did not pass basket, let's take a look at the breakdown of it all in terms of reactions. According to the information, cats had one of three reactions upon seeing their own reflection in the mirror. First up was hostility and aggression, presumably based on the notion that they were mistaking their very own reflection for that of another cat. Next is indifference, quick glances at the mirror, but nothing too focused, almost like the mirror wasn't even there. And three, neutrality and curiosity. This involves the recognition of the mirror and an interest to see what the cool visuals are all about, but nothing specific, and curiosity in almost a playful manner. In the study, the most common reaction to the mirror test is and was aggression. Some cats will even attack the mirror. Other cats, complete indifference or just ignoring the mirror altogether. As a side note, my cats couldn't care less about the mirror. My cats have been in front of a mirror probably 100 times. They just stare. It's almost like they're looking at a blank wall, no reaction at all. Cats also have reactions to the mirror. Felines that don't outright ignore the mirror will sniff, touch, or rub against the mirror, treating it more like a basic object of curiosity rather than a looking glass of a reflection in real time motion. It should be noted, specific to the rules set by Gallup Jr., that interaction is not confirmation of self awareness. Only an attempted removal of the dot after viewing it in the mirror is proof of self awareness, because interaction can come from many things, including the mistake of thinking the cat in the mirror is another cat. The only action that will pass the test is a direct attempt at dot removal. In terms of the general aspect of things and the most literal answer to our topic question, the answer is obviously yes. From roughly 20 to 25 feet away, cats are able to see their own reflections in a mirror. While they certainly don't have the capacity to see objects in the mirror the way we can see the objects, on a basic and standard level, they do see the reflections that are presented. Domestic felines are nearsighted and somewhat colorblind, but they can see reflections in a mirror if they are close enough. Most criticism of the mirror test comes from the fact that some contend that the entire concept is flawed because the test makes the assumption that the cat would object to the red dot being there if the cat could recognize it in the mirror, therefore, upon seeing it, physically look down and attempt to remove it. The logic here being that what if the cat just doesn't care if the dot is there or not? If a cat is indifferent to the dot, then it wouldn't try to remove it. Therefore, no final conclusion could be made whether the cat really saw the dot in the mirror or not. Let's go back to the gum in the hair. What if you didn't care that you had gum in your hair? Well, just because you didn't react to seeing it in the mirror doesn't mean that you didn't recognize that, well, that was you and that was gum. Another criticism of the mirror test involves the idea that the test itself limits how many animals go about evaluating their environment, how they actually go about the evaluation of environment from day to day. Cats are all about the keen sense of hearing and smelling, among many other things. And just because the test is left to visuals alone doesn't prove that a feline isn't self aware. Why? Because cats are keen to so many other things and many, many other associations. Detractors of the mirror test will say that based on these standards, that it's unfair to conclude that cats don't understand mirrors because the studies that are often used are not designed to take in the entire picture of a cat's true mental capacity, rather limiting it to only sight and physical reaction based on what is seen. However, according to Gallup Jr.'s test, which is the foundation for the verdict on whether or not cats can truly see and acknowledge themselves in the mirror, the act of staring into the mirror, showing mild interest, scratching the mirror, aggression, and even ignoring the mirror altogether are not proof of self awareness. Unless the dot is manipulated post haste, then the subject, according to the test, has failed. And this is why cats, at least from a core recognition standpoint, are not able to truly see themselves in a mirror. Class dismissed. And on that note, that will wrap things up for this very interesting and somewhat unique topic. However, if you would like more information concerning today's material, we've got you covered as always over at seniorcatwellness.com. There you will find a highly detailed article dedicated to everything we've talked about today, the mirror test, and so much more. We invite you to check it out at the conclusion of today's presentation. Are you currently watching us offsite? If so, we do encourage you to click the initial link in the description box below. Said link will take you to all of the information. And until our paths cross again, and I certainly hope they do, we'd like to thank you once again for joining us today. Please have a wonderful day. All the best to you and yours, and we will talk to you later.